In my expert and humble opinion, the E flat chord is the single worst chord on the guitar. It's not necessarily the hardest chord to play, but it's just really tough to make it actually sound the way you want it to sound, even if you play it perfectly. And it is hard to play. Let me tell you the 3 reasons why the E flat chord is the worst, and then we will discuss if there is an easier way to play the E flat chord. So reason number 1 why the E flat chord sucks so much is because it's a bar chord, and it's the worst kind of bar chord, where you have to bar with your pointer finger and bar with your ring finger. I hate it to death. If you don't already know it, let me show it to you really quick. Take your pointer finger, push on the 6th fret of the 2nd string from the top. You want to mash down on the bottom 5 strings. Also, you want the tip of your pointer finger to mute the top string. Then take your ring finger and mash down on the 8th fret of the 3rd string from the top, 3rd string from the bottom, and 2nd string from the bottom. Now, in a perfect world, the bottom string is going to be the 6th fret from your pointer finger. The one thing that you do not want to do is you don't want your ring finger to mash down on the bottom 5 strings. Shut up! Because then you end up with an E flat 6 chord, and that's not what we want at all. So that's reason number 1 why this chord is the worst, is because it's a stupid, annoying bar chord. Reason number 2 why this chord is the worst is because none of the open strings sound good with this chord. That's not true. The G string sounds fine, but that doesn't really help us at all. So 5 out of 6 of the strings do not work with this chord if you play them open. So that means if you try to do a fancy, like partly open string version, it doesn't work at all. And reason number 3 why this chord is so terrible is because it always sounds too high. Like just the nature of the strings of the guitar and the chord, the E flat chord, it's like you're playing like a G, A minor. It just sounds like it's all. Reason number 3 is I just don't like it. Okay, do you have a problem with that? Bring it up in court. Great. So we have established beyond a reasonable doubt that the E flat chord is one of the worst chords to play on guitar. So, Uncle Stuart, is there an easier way to play the E flat chord? Short answer, I really don't think so. I think it's one of those rare situations where we just have to suck it up. That being said, let me show you what I do. If there's a song that has a bunch of chords I like, and then just like one big stupid E flat chord, here's what I will do. Sometimes, not even joking, I just will skip that. I just won't play that chord. I'll just go like this. So let's say there's a song that goes like, let's say it's like G, E flat, F, G. So I could go like G, E flat, F, back to G. Sometimes I'll go like this. I'll go. I'm not even joking. Here's another thing I will do sometimes. This doesn't make it any easier, but in my opinion, it makes it sound a little better, is I will sometimes play an E flat in first inversion. I'm going to show you this and you're going to go like, you got to be kidding me. That's actually what you do instead? Yeah. Put your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the top string. Mute the 2nd string from the top with your middle finger. Put your pointer finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string from the top. Put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string from the bottom. Put your pinky on the 4th fret of the 2nd string from the bottom, and then have your pinky and your pointer finger mute the bottom string. This is an E flat over G, also known as an E flat in first inversion. So then I'm going like, it's like maybe physically harder to play, but but I think it sounds better. All right, and then here's the final thing that I will do. This is if there's a song with like a bunch of E flats in it. Just use a capo. If you put a capo on the first fret, now a D chord is an E flat. If you put a capo on the third fret, now a C chord is an E flat. If you put a capo on the sixth fret, an A chord is now an E flat. If you put a capo on the eighth fret, a G chord is now an E flat. So the main purpose of this video was for me to vent my frustrations about the E flat chord, my least favorite chord on the guitar. B flat is a close second, but with B flat, at least you can play this version of it, and it's a little bit better. What, knock knock, who's there? Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day who? B minor is the most popular Valentine's Day chord. Will you B minor? That's different from B flat though. Yeah, I know. I never said it was the same thing. Okay, great.